through roads lined with mud brick houses that are decorated with natural ochre. We travel through what was once the ancient kingdom of Bagmundi to visit the mask makers' village of Chow. This is presently called the Purulia district of West Bengal, India, where the Chow dance or mask dance of the ancient warrior is performed in every village throughout the summer month. The importance of the masks in this dance is such that without them, Chow would not be what it is today, the most popular religious dance in this region. According to the oral tradition, it was the king of Bagmundi who brought carpenters from other areas and gave them land at Cholida, a few kilometres away from the palace. It is the descendants of these original effigy and mask makers that have for generations developed the mask to the present state of perfection. First the tyre bursts, then the motor ceases. We get many opportunities to view the ancient landscape and the daily activities of the local community. Thank you. When we eventually arrive at our destination, we see a whole village occupied with the mask making and selling process. It's a job that involves every family member in some way. We head towards the master mask maker's house, Sadhu Suchida and family, who are one of the original mask makers in the village. Sadhu's ancestors have been making the Chow masks for hundreds of years and thus have perfected the process. So now we're going to learn from him how the Chow masks are made. Starting from the beginning, the clay is collected from the nearby riverbeds and local sites. It is then pounded and made smooth and malleable. Using water and wooden tools, the clay is sculpted into the shape of a head and then left to dry in the hot sun. This forms the mould from which the paper mache masks are made. Using recycled paper and cloth, Sadhu Sutrada forms the basic shapes. The paper is softened and with glue made from rice water placed upon the clay head. This makes it very light and strong. Glue. When the mask is dry, the clay mould is broken in order to free the mask, and then it is ready for painting. Sadhu explains the basic painting process as we listen. This is tamarind tree gum, he says. We mix it with powder paint to make the primer or first coat. Next we put on the basic colour and draw the eyes and facial features, and then varnish it, like in this one. Finally, we burn the eye holes and attach the strings to the back of the mask so that it can be tied onto the dancers' heads. The paint comes from Calcutta and the clay and water from local resources. The cloth and paper are recycled.
सिर्फ मिट्टी हमारा गांव का है, दूसरा मिट्टी और पानी, ये छोड़ के दूसरा कुछ नहीं।
Sadhu is priming the mask with paint mixed with tamarind gum. Each mask is primed 3 times.
So in a way, that clay one there is actually like a mold.
Yeah, it's just a mold.
Yeah.
Keep it, they break it.
What is the different colours? I mean, the different colour really symbolises different people and different things.
Now the colourful facial features are being painted onto the mask. In this case, it is the golden coloured mask of Goddess Durga. Each mask has a certain colour and style, made to represent a particular character from the ancient Indian epics that are to be performed in the Chow dance. In the Indian epics, such as the Mahabharata, the Aryan invaders are portrayed as having a fair complexion, refined features, whereas the indigenous people are depicted with large coarse features and an abundance of facial hair. The masks of the Aryans or Devas are painted light colours. Their mouths and noses are small, whereas the Asura kings or indigenous people are painted black or dark earthy colours and have a monstrous appearance. This is largely because of the interracial conflict that existed between the Aryans and the indigenous people. The Indian epics are written from the Aryan invaders' perspective rather than the indigenous people's one, and hence they are referred to in derogatory terms, such as Asura or monster, ghoul or ghost. As the Chow episodes are taken from the ancient epics, the different characters are represented accordingly. It is interesting to note, however, that those characters who most closely represent the indigenous people are the most ardent devotees and greatest warriors. They are insurmountable in battle and cannot be subjugated, except by the great god Shiva and goddess Durga. The masks of the god and goddesses are very ornately decorated and are painted in warm, soft tones. The mask of Shiva, for example, is painted flesh-coloured and has a ring of snakes around his head. While outside Sadhu's house, the workers are making the decorative ornamentation for the headdresses. Inside, Sadhu's wife and family are busy threading beads, making jewellery and putting the final touches to the mask. Upon the wire structure of the crown is threaded many colourful materials to add light and dimension and create a spectacular effect.
এটা তৈরি করতে হয়, এটা পাত দিয়ে কাটানোর পরে ওটা দুদিকে মুখ আছে ওটা দিয়ে দিয়ে পরানো হয়।
In the courtyard, the completed masks are set forth. In this case, the dark-skinned Asura king. Back outside the house, the decorations continue. The head and crown are materializing and becoming more and more magnificent. It's a constant production as the master and craftspeople continue to create increasingly elaborate masks every year. It seems that there is a new trend recently, as the masks become more vibrant, colourful and ornately decorated.
आपको सब बुझाता है जो इंडियन है इंडियन इनको इंडियन बुझाता है आपको नहीं
Last of all, the hair, made out of jute, is placed upon the mask and coloured with black paint. The jute strands are twirled together to form the moustaches, eyebrows and beards of the Asura warrior king. The red eyes and pink painted lips add to the fierce expression of the mask. While the masks are receiving their finishing touches, we leave Sadhu to go for a quick visit around the village to the other mask makers' shops, before heading home to the Royal Chow Academy. We're followed, of course, by the children, keen to be on video. Leaving Sadhu and family to their business, we jump into our jeep and head back to Balarampur, keen to see the next show performance. On our way home, Gandhida serenades us with a local jhumar or folk song that describes the culture of Purulia. To Purulia, red earth, with your Chow dance, you are my mother. He sings, I offer my pranam, my salutation.
বাড়ি মাটিতে সোলাপতের ঠাঁই দাদা মাটিতে সোলাপতের ঠাঁই পুরুলার মাটিকে ভাই প্রণাম জানাই কোন পাহাড়ে কত শোভা পায় দাদা কোন পাহাড়ে কত শোভা পায় পুরুলার মাটিকে ভাই প্রণাম জানাই